What's going on, guys? I'm here with the two best co-hosts, Skoutalakis and Payton Sarrat, and we are the hosts of The Breakdown presented by SHTV. On today's segment, we will be talking about major trades within the NFL, as well as MLB's free agents. Starting off, number one, the big trade, Russell Wilson to the Broncos. What y'all think?
Broncos got a lot better. Toughest division in football. I mean, after that trade, I was thinking, Broncos second in that division. And then the next day, Chargers go trade for Khalil Mack. So I see them head-to-head. I see them as a head-to-head. And I see Chiefs, Broncos, Chargers on the same tier. Raiders on the bottom.
Yeah, I agree.
And if I had to pick right now, I couldn't. And I'd have to say I think they both finished within one game of each other. And I think they split head-to-head matchups.
I agree. I think we have to think Chiefs are still top of that division with Mahomes. But, Herbert and Wilson, when Wilson's healthy, they're, we got to say,
Same
5
tier.
and 6. Yeah, same tier quarterback. But, the Raiders didn't get too much better this offseason compared to, the Chargers and the Broncos. But, like you said, I think they're still going to be within 1 or 2 games with each other, and it's going to be tough. So.
But how do you think that impacts the Seattle Seahawks going forward as they get Drew Lock, Noah Fant,
Shelby Harris picks?
You got to think, they're not pushing for playoffs.
I like it.
I saw one Instagram account, ESPN actually, and one head analyst said, ranked the trades. They said Broncos got an A and the Seahawks got a D minus. That's a big haul for That's a big haul for Russell Wilson.
You're playing in a division where 49ers, Trey Lance era, I think the 49ers are going to be good for a long time.
Rams just won Super Bowl.
Are probably the best team in the NFL right now. And the Seahawks have been pretty bad the past 2 years. And honestly, Pete Carroll is, I think we all agree, Pete Carroll is old.
Yeah.
And their O-line has been horrible. I think that it was a good time to rebuild. They got some decent pieces.
And they released Bobby Wagner. That's a big freaking release.
One of the best.
They're rebuilding mode.
And now Jordan Brooks from Stratford is going to be the main key linebacker in there.
Yeah.
So
they had no picks. They gave up so many picks to get Jamal Adams. They had no picks, and they were horrible last year.
So do you think?
I know they were horrible last year, but they did deal with a bunch of injuries. Wilson was out 7 games?
Yeah.
6 games. So that's gonna hurt them a lot, considering he's one of the best. But
I don't know where DK goes from here. Maybe he requests a trade. Rashad Penny is just a guy. They go back to the old school running back.
I like Drew Lock though. I think you start Drew Lock next year
for sure.
I think coming out of what I saw from him his rookie year, but when I saw from him this year when they benched Bridgewater, or when Bridgewater got hurt.
He played a good game, but the box score didn't really show it.
Exactly. He's got talent.
His reads are getting better. You can tell his progressions are just developing a little more.
He's got top 5 arm too.
That's
exactly.
He does have a slinger.
Okay, transitioning from quarterbacks, Russ going to Wentz and Watson. Wentz got traded to the Commanders in Washington.
For what? It was 2/3. And then they got a 5th back. That's
nothing for Wentz.
That's nothing.
It's a good trade. They needed a quarterback. Heineke's nowhere near Wentz. We've seen what Wentz can do. He's put up MVP type performances, but
it's an upgrade over Heineke, but it's not huge. But you gave up 2/3, so really,
yeah.
I think it's a good trade.
It will utilize Terry McLaurin better because he's a really good 50-50 ball guy, and Wentz throws a lot of 50-50 balls, so that'll
And
it'll only make Terry better.
And if they can get their defense going, because what was it, 2 years ago they had that really good defense.
They have a free division. Well, Chase Young just got hurt.
He
last year, so.
And they're letting go of Landon Collins.
I don't know about free division. I think everyone in the NFC East is gonna get better.
Cowboys.
Cowboys are on top for sure.
The Cowboys are not Super Bowl
contenders. The Giants have 2 draft picks in the top 10.
They have to get.
So they'll
Eagles
have 3 firsts.
3 firsts.
So everyone is gonna get better in that division. So I think it was kind of a power play, and on the other side though, the Colts don't have a quarterback. So
they're gonna start Sam Ellinger is what I heard.
Really?
Yeah, sources said they were going to go with
Jimmy. They might go get Jimmy G.
Or they draft a quarterback.
I like Jimmy G. If you lead a team to the Super Bowl twice, you got to be at least above average.
I mean, they need a quarterback though, and I don't think they're gonna draft one because you don't take a team like that's playoff ready and go draft a young quarterback. So I think it's like limited, like
For sure.
Jimmy G, Derek Carr maybe.
Carr.
I could see
Watson.
Carr.
Watson just got
Watson.
bailed with those 22 rape charges, so
he got
he's
cleared,
free
so
from
he's
that.
on the market now.
I mean, the interdivision trade could happen. You never know. But I mean, the Colts don't really have much to offer. Maybe I don't see them trading away Leonard. They can't trade away Leonard.
No,
They can't.
way.
JT, they're keeping JT. I mean, they don't have much.
Their O line is.
They're
They're not going to trade Quentin Nelson,
No.
right?
The Texans wouldn't take a lineman for one of the best quarterbacks.
I don't think the
They have
Texans would
picks.
trade a division anyway. I think if Texans are going to trade Watson, it's
Panthers have been
Panthers are
Panthers,
top.
maybe
but
Pittsburgh comes around, offers
Pittsburgh.
them
Or
something.
maybe even the Commanders flip Wentz
that would be crazy.
for Watson.
But
Texans, I mean,
I think Panthers. I've seen Panthers as the main.
Yeah.
I've seen like
A
I
deal
saw
centered
I saw
around
today 3 firsts in McCaffrey
Mm-hmm.
is what I saw. Which
I mean, you got to take that, right? Top 5 running back, 3 firsts,
I'm just not a fan of trading for a running back.
especially an injury-prone running back.
I just
with
don't.
that.
I don't see how taking a running back would really help you for the future. Because if you're the Texans, you're not going to be ready to win for 3 years at least.
Yep.
So I mean, McCaffrey in 3 years is, he's not going to be a top guy anymore. The shelf life is just not there.
We did see how Davis Mills played last year.
I think
He had a
there's-
really good
I think
rookie
there's something-
season.
There's
So
something to build with Mills
for sure,
100%. I mean,
and then speaking about people getting suspended, Calvin really gets suspended for a year for gambling on parlays.
free him.
For real, bro. Literally taking
a full
our
year.
type of plays. Crazy.
I think it's ridiculous how you can ban or suspend someone for a year for betting, but then someone takes PEDs, which is way worse for the game, and then you don't get
And
suspended.
domestic violence gets like 4 to 6 games, and then you
I know.
suspend someone. I think it's bad.
And Josh Gordon's using
Smoking.
illegal drugs.
Exactly.
I mean, that's just crazy.
Hey, he got re-signed.
He did get re-signed.
Yep.
Vet minimum, I'm pretty sure, but
Also, another wide receiver getting traded in recent news. Amari Cooper to the Browns. I don't like that move for the Browns because you already
I
have
don't like it
Landry. You already have
I think
I think they're-
Landry's cut or he's getting
Landry's
traded.
gonna get-
probably
They're
yeah,
gonna do.
He's-
They're gonna do with Landry what the Cowboys just did to Cooper.
probably. And I mean Baker. Nobody likes Baker.
No, I'm not a fan of Baker.
Nobody likes
Not a
Baker.
fan of Baker.
I mean, his arm he's got a dead arm with the shoulder thing. What did he separate his shoulder?
His just skill set as a whole is just not
It's not-
sustainable.
there's
in the
He's
NFL.
5'11" with a dead arm. I mean, like
No
It's a shame, 'cause
athleticism.
they have a pretty good
their
defense.
defense is ridiculous.
Best run game in the league. But like you look at you have.
Top 5.
Chubb
running back
and
tandem.
Hunt in the back. Oh.
I mean, you're competing against Allen, Mahomes, and Herbert, and then you put.
I mean, and you got Lamar, and you got
And
Lamar
Lamar,
in the
yeah.
same division.
Exactly.
There's-
If
there's-
I'm the
and
Browns,
And you have Joe Burrow in the same division.
And Russell Wilson.
If I'm the Browns, you got to go out and get a better quarterback, right? Like that's the only. Like Baker's the only guy stopping y'all from winning.
Maybe the Browns make a play at Deshaun Watson. Who knows?
I also don't
Who
really
knows?
like the trade for Amari Cooper. I'm not a big Amari Cooper guy. I think he's good, but I don't know if he's $20 million good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And I wanted to see them take a wide receiver in the first
I
round.
wanted to see them take Jamison Williams, a guy that can take the top
A
off.
burner.
You know, they also have Anthony Schwartz, which is a really fast guy.
Speedster.
Got him in the back. You never
And
know.
David Njoku.
David
They
Njoku.
franchise
tag,
tag them, yeah.
and
Exactly.
Austin Hooper probably going to be out of there. So, I mean, the weapons are there.
And the offensive line's
the
there.
offensive line is
Yeah.
elite.
Their offensive line and defensive lines.
Good coaching. Kevin
among the top
Stefanski's a good
five.
coach.
I mean,
On the Cowboys side of this, what do y'all think? They get rid of Cooper, pretty much saying that they're gonna re-sign Gallup coming off an ACL tear.
I like it though.
Freeze-
Gallup's a star.
I love Gallup.
It frees CD to be the number 1 guy who's obviously way more upside than Cooper, younger, better skill set. Like, I like it for them.
I saw something on the NFL Twitter today that watch out for Treylon Burks getting drafted to the Cowboys. Jerry Jones won't be able to help himself.
I know.
because he's an Arkansas
Treylon
stud.
is a
Exactly where
stud.
Jerry Jones
Do they draft Treylon like they did when they drafted CD when they had Gallup and Amari Cooper?
Mhm.
And they need
What pick do they have?
defensive help.
24. Do
Terrible.
they take
24?
Treylon at 24?
I don't know. He may be gone before there. He's a guy in this draft.
He's
There's a lot of good wide
Stock
receivers.
rising. Stock
I
rising.
think this draft class is slept on.
I agree.
Because there's no quarterbacks, that's
because
it.
there's no quarterback. You got
It's just
what?
quarterbacks.
Malik Willis,
Even
Matt Corral.
Malik
and then-
Willis has shot up draft boards though.
I mean, did you
He's-
see?
he's
Did y'all
a-
see his pro day? His
He
arm.
impressed at the
yeah.
combine.
My
And,
gosh.
I mean, yeah, Corral, that injury hurt him.
Oh yeah, the ACL.
But I mean, you never know. There could be 2 or 3 guys that end up being franchise guys at the quarterback.
I know.
I mean,
and
It's
the
just
wide receiver room is stacked, like y'all said.
Wilson,
London.
Burks, London,
Olave.
London's a stud. Olave, everyone was hating on
him.
Olave, and then he goes and runs a
What?
4.29, something like that, and then everyone wants
Crazy.
to hop on the Olave train.
Exactly.
I mean,
And then Garrett Wilson,
Garrett
also
Wilson.
from Ohio State's a stud. He'll probably go top 15. You never
Jameson
know.
Williams is a first round pick too.
And then I'm hearing Kyle Hamilton, a safety. You don't take safety to top
Potentially
5.
number 1 overall pick. That's what I'm hearing
Oh,
too.
he's insane.
I mean, his
What?
reads on quarterbacks are ridiculous. Got Thibodeau. I mean,
The
Hutchinson.
offensive lineman,
Evan
fastest
Neal.
offensive lineman class.
I
ever.
mean,
Not
and
to
then you
mention-
also, I mean, Jordan Davis from
Jordan-
Georgia is ridiculous.
What was he? 6.
It's like 6'8", 340, and he runs a 4.78.
That's
That's
ridiculous.
sick, dude. I mean, that's like, that's like what you want to compare someone to maybe being as dominant as Aaron Donald.
I mean,
That's like
I know.
that's pretty extreme, but I mean that's big people like that don't move.
I agree.
Ever.
Really slept on draft class.
and you really slept on running back from a school you like that.
And Spiller.
Amen.
Yep.
You gotta talk about Breece Hall though. He's like one of the highest graded.
One of the highest
prospects.
ranks, yeah,
Like-
for running backs.
Like
What was it?
I saw him up there with like Saquon. He's like ahead of Najee Harris.
Yeah, I saw that too.
I mean, and he kind of had like I wouldn't say a
What-
bad year.
Iowa
but-
State was
this
not
one.
televised year because of a down
But
year.
no, I mean Kenneth Walker kind of stole the show.
He
from
did.
him. And
He had an MVP
he
type season.
and
though,
he had a
so-
really good combine too. And people were kind of
Uh-huh.
slipping him down draft boards too. He
Yeah.
ran a good 40, and I mean Spiller's
And
stock has.
I remember, you telling us how when Spiller doesn't run the 40, it shoots his stock all the way down. But they saw the production in college. He can be a workhorse. He can be a 3-down back, but I mean, not running the 40 really
he
does
might
hurt.
he might be a day 3 guy now.
Yeah.
After that,
Yeah.
from previously being possibly like, second or third.
Yeah.
I mean, and finally for NFL, Rodgers signs a massive.
4-year,
$200
$200 million.
million. All right,
Record-breaking contract.
Do y'all like it? Y'all like the deal? I mean, as a Packers fan, you gotta like it, right?
I would hate to see him leave.
And then the tag on Devontae.
I mean, that's the best. They're the best duo in the league. I think that's pretty like
Top 2.
the connection is unreal.
I know.
What I think kind of
I mean,
hurt the Packers this year probably from having no cap space. Probably the Aaron Jones signing. I would much rather
Ooh.
see AJ Dillon.
I agree.
AJ
Taking
Dillon,
more reps.
I think
It
is
was
better.
I agree.
I mean,
Aaron Jones is really good, but
What
he's
did they
a,
sign him to?
time and time again, it's like you pay running backs, and it just
know.
does not.
and I
work
mean,
out.
Aaron Jones isn't highlighted as like a feature back. He's more like a scat back. Like
Yeah, he's a
Tony
he's
Pollard-esque
he's a pass catcher
type
too.
player.
I mean, he doesn't have blazing speed, but like, I mean, he's
I mean,
like
He's
you
not.
said,
I mean, that if they could use that money to go get another wide receiver.
I mean, maybe
I know.
LaFleur was looking at the fantasy points, wanted to re-sign him just for that reason. Maybe he had him on his team.
I mean, I think if you're the Packers, you're taking your shot. You're not. I mean, you get rid of Rodgers. You're not
I mean,
finding other.
but I
quarterbacks
feel
like that ever.
this is why Rodgers hasn't won Super Bowls throughout his career, because he doesn't take pay cuts like Brady does. He doesn't He doesn't give the organization money to build around him like other elite quarterbacks.
Yeah, okay.
Speaking of that, he retired recently. I mean, probably
The
go
The
for
Nothing else to
us.
say there.
I mean, he's ridiculous.
Maybe
But,
he's coming back. Maybe he wants to come back.
yeah,
Prove
Michael Jordan.
everybody wrong next year. Still over and I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
We're just like
In recent news, the MLB is back.
finally.
After long days of negotiation.
It was what, the 99th day?
Of the lockout.
Yeah. It's crazy. Okay, starting off, banning the shift in 2023.
Don't like it.
I'm a fan.
Shift is a part of logistics.
I'm with Alex. I like it.
I used to be with you on that. Recently listened to what Buster Posey had to say about the shift. I think it was about a year or two ago. He said that like if a guy smokes a ball that would short hop the right fielder, and the second baseman catches it, then he has to go, well, I gotta put it in the air, right? easier said than done, and then that's why they're banning it. They're banning it to try to bring more excitement to the game.
Yes, but I also see from the angle as more like statistical people would see, just hit the ball the other way.
Yeah,
You can
but
always do that.
It's
Okay, but
you got a guy
like,
throwing
hit the ball the other
100
way.
in places where it's hard to hit the ball the other way. It's easier said than done.
I don't know.
That's
It's
true.
not
I agree
easy
with
at all.
That's not my problem though. That is the Major League hitters' problems.
But and when you put less, you spread the guys out more diving plays, more athleticism, more harder throws. It's
More
just to make it more
excitement
exciting,
overall,
which is
yeah.
what they want.
It's like a routine play that a ball that's hit up smoked up the middle, and you see a shortstop move
standing right there.
to his left one step and
And
throw
he
him
throws
out.
him out first. That becomes base hit or a diving play.
Exactly.
So I'm a fan, and I used to previously not be a fan, but now I understand. It's a marketing aspect at the end of the day. They
with
want to draw more people in.
speaking about drawing more people in, University DH with the NL, nobody wants to see pitchers hit. It's fun if they get a hit, home run, massive Bumgarner hits a bomb, oh my god. But having a DH.
That's so rare. It's good
Exactly.
to have a DH. Finally, it's just you go. It's a bunt or a strikeout.
Yeah.
And
you're taking away a guy that could be in the major leagues that should be on a MLB roster for hitting.
And some
being
guys
designated.
with that, some guys' values just skyrocket.
Exactly.
Take like
JD Martinez.
Nelson Cruz. free agent
they'll
right
get
now.
higher contracts.
Guys
Well,
that don't usually play the field.
That's 15 more teams that need a DH.
Bam, right there. Exactly.
Also, they made the bases larger, which good prevent injuries. I think part of it will help. I don't know how it helps stolen bases. I think it's supposed to be easier to stay on the bag. I'm guessing. I don't know.
Yeah.
That doesn't really matter to me. I'm just happy they banned the shift, and
I'm just happy baseball's back
That's
as a
true.
whole.
and they said they're gonna play. We're gonna play all 162, because players don't want to lose out on their money. So
Whoa, I heard that if you're on a team, you have to report to camp ASAP. So
ASAP.
you've notes. Obviously players have been in the cage,
They've been
getting out.
working.
But as a team, it'll probably to begin the year, you'll see some teams that usually should be top of the standings maybe shake down a little bit. It'll be a big change.
they were locked out. When they say lockout, you cannot. They were not able to go to team facilities
Nothing.
I don't even
3+ months.
I don't even think major league teams on their Instagrams could even post
No,
about
it
their
was
teams.
a complete lockout. So a bunch of they haven't worked together at all, and they're professionals. They'll figure it out. But the team chemistry maybe won't be there at the start. Some arms may be shaky, but that's why you play one. That's why you play 162.
And then new guys trying to get signed, maybe a big name like Carlos Correa going to a new team.
Yeah.
Maybe he stays with the Astros, maybe goes to
The
Tigers.
free agent market is loaded. Well, you got Correa, Freeman, Story, Castellanos, Bryant, Schwarber, Jansen, Rizzo. All guys still out there. Obviously, the headliners are Correa and Freeman.
For sure. And then teams that need back end of the bullpen help, Jansen has been one of the top names
If
in
you
the major
can get
leagues.
Kenley Jansen in your bullpen, you're doing it right. But the headliners, Correa. I'd say Correa and Freeman are taking up all the news right now.
For sure.
And Freeman's a guy. I don't even think anybody going into this offseason was it was kind of they were talking about Correa, Story, Seager, the three shortstops, and then you hear Freeman after winning the World Series is
The Braves, you think he's going to be locked on with the Braves,
Yeah,
but now
yeah.
other people are throwing massive loads of gas.
And
at
he
him.
deserves it. After the season he had.
I'm seeing Dodgers. I'm seeing Yankees. I even saw the Rays. Rays threw a deal at him.
Wow.
And speaking of Dodgers, they just re-signed Kershaw.
Kershaw
do
did
him
1 year.
Yeah.
Brought him back. They also have Muncy coming back from that UCL injury.
Yep. Muncy.
Maybe Bellinger
That
picks
team's
it up again.
So I don't think
They're
anybody.
just running it
I
back.
don't think anybody wants to see them get Freeman. But it can. always
But they have
happen.
endless amounts of money, so they can throw whatever they want at him.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah, it's not a team you want to match up with, especially in the playoffs.
Trey Turner. The Braves.
Rookie.
Braves got lucky this year, beat him. Oh wait, no, they beat the. Yeah, they did beat him. Yeah.
Yeah, they beat them in the NLCS.
Yep.
If y'all to pick though, where do you think Freeman ends up?
I'm saying hometown. I'm saying back to Atlanta.
I was gonna say, I think he re-signs back with Atlanta.
I don't think. He's been there his whole career. They just won a World Series. it's hard for me to see him. I could see him going to LA.
He is
big market.
He is from LA originally.
Yeah, exactly.
So he could.
I could see it, but I would want him to stay in Atlanta.
I'm gonna stick with y'all. And I'm gonna say he stays in Atlanta.
I think it would. I wouldn't say ruin baseball, but like if he went to LA, if he went to the Dodgers, it's just.
And
it's
you go to the
unfair.
Dodgers, everyone, nobody's a Freddie Freeman fan anymore.
Exactly.
Who wants to-
And now with the DH, they can literally plug Bellinger, Muncy,
Oh,
and
it's a nightmare.
Freeman into the same lineup, along with Trey Turner, Mookie, all these big bats.
Locks, Betty, all these studs.
I mean, and with freaking their re-signing of Kershaw, their hold back into the bullpen.
Bauer's gonna be back.
Bauer will be back. Oh.
Bauer's gonna be back.
Bueller's a Cy Young candidate.
Oh my god.
Then they got Bruce Dark-Adderall, a dude that throws 100.
Standing up,
I mean,
effortlessly.
it's ridiculous watching guys that throw that hard.
And then you look past Freeman, you still have two shortstops on the market, Correa and Story, who
I mean, yeah.
they're gonna get big money. Correa's probably getting. What did Seager get? Seager got 320, 325.
Him, Simeon, Goss.
Correa's gonna get that, if not more.
Simeon got a big bag too.
I mean, Correa.
I've heard Correa going to the Yankees possibly.
As a Yankee fan, I think Correa's going to the Yankees. I just think it's gonna happen. I don't see anywhere else for him to land.
I mean, they have the money to throw at him. Unlike the Astros, but
that is true. The Astros, dude. I don't know if the Astros are gonna shell out.
The
I
Astros.
hate to say it.
The Astros owner Jim Crane wants to throw a 5-year deal because he's not a fan of long-term deals. So he threw him a 5-year deal, like $32 million a year. Got turned down before the lockout started. So you think he's gonna offer that him again? I mean,
He's gonna want
more.
8 to 10. He's gonna want 8 to 10 years. He's gonna want what Seager got.
Exactly. That's exactly where the Yankees would probably go and get him.
Well deserved. So he's gonna go to a team that can give him that money.
Exactly.
And the Yankees are one of those teams.
Exactly.
Which is why if you're looking for a shortstop, Trevor Story, it's gonna be cheaper. Longevity wise, I mean, probably gonna have to give him he's probably gonna want 8 years.
He's not
also.
quite on the tier as Correa.
Take a dip in average, take a dip in arm strength, you take a dip in most categories, maybe besides you got upgraded speed.
Yeah.
He's got pop.
He does have
He's
pop,
got
but Correa is one of the best defensive shortstops there is in the league.
And
Story's right there behind him.
clutch, you take clutch and leadership too. I mean,
Correa's one of the best players in the MLB. It's
Mm-hmm.
just crazy. But also a candidate in the West Coast, the Giants just signed Carlos Rodon.
love that signing.
I love that signing as well. Pair him up with Gossman.
Gosman's on the Jays now.
He's on the Jays?
Speaking of Jays signed Yusei Kikuchi, 336. He's a solid lefty. He was like, I think he was the number one on the Mariners last year, and then he goes to the Jays. They have Ryu, they have Gosman. No more Robbie Ray.
Did they get Barrios?
They have Barrios.
They
Ross Strictly. I'm trying to remember who else. They have Alec Manoa too.
The AL East is tough division.
I mean, you add a guy like Kikuchi, he's gonna be your 4 or 5. That's pretty impressive. That's a stacked pitching rotation for the. And then go back to what you're saying. The Giants.
Bryant's on the market. Schwarber's on the market for a DH position there. Bryant could go back there. You never know. I don't know. But
I could see Bryant going back to Chicago.
that would be
Bryant or Rizzo. I could see one of them going back to Chicago.
Yeah.
Especially Rizzo. Rizzo's expressed interest in that. I mean,
I don't know. Rizzo in the Yankees. I don't know. I see the Yankees as like I don't know. Because with Luke Voigt coming back, I mean, he's been back, but I mean, they want to start Luke Voigt more than they want to.
It's a mystery over there. Luke Voigt could always get traded, but then again, Luke Voigt's never really healthy. And there's the market for non-healthy power right-handed hitters is very low.
Yeah. So
I mean, I can't. I love Rizzo. I mean, he's one of the best first basemen in the game, and
he's a people's guy. Everybody loves Rizzo. Rizzo and Freeman, they're two of the best lefty bats in the NL.
He's an Italian for the New York Yankees. I mean, everyone loves that.
Mob boss.
Exactly,
But also in the AL, Isaiah kind of left after the signings of Seager and Simeon. They have nowhere to plug him in. Sent the Twins, which doesn't really shake up anything. Twins or whatever.
Twins are horrible. Rangers get Mitch Garver back and a prospect. Mitch Garver's pretty decent catcher.
Pretty solid. Doesn't hit for average, but has some pop in his
Good-
bat. So
Good defense too.
It's good
He
defense.
pioneered the one knee down catching. So,
Exactly.
I mean, it's a whatever move. I don't think anybody's really ruffled by it.
I don't think anybody's scared of the Rangers.
I mean, they won't be bad. I mean,
They'll be a sub.
their offense, the offense is going to go up a bunch. The pitching's minimal pitching moves. I mean, they signed John Gray.
They did draft Leiter too.
And
Rangers,
outlier, so
so-
maybe.
Maybe he gets a quick call up. You never know.
I mean,
I mean,
Yeah.
he's a stud.
maybe
Maybe
two,
throw him in the
2 or 3
bullpen.
years. You know, we'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, up and coming. I mean, they spent some money,
They
some
did.
big time money.
Respectively too. I mean, they had the money to spend. They spent it wisely.
I mean, that kind
Makes them better.
of shocked me.
I mean, I thought the Tigers were going to be the big players in free agency, but
Yep.
the Rangers getting 2 guys for
For
uh
$500 million.
for
Something like that.
decades,
Yeah.
for 2 decades worth of. I mean, a decade, but 20 years worth of.
I mean, Simeon was what, like eight for, I want to say like 8 for like 240. I know Seager was like 325. I mean, dude, that's some commitment.
Yeah.
That's
You just brought up the Tigers. I mean, 7 for
7 year,
175.
175 million contract.
that's ridiculous.
Mm, At 37 too.
And speaking of the Tigers, I don't like the bias signing. I'm so anti-Hobby Bias. I'm not a Hobby
Yeah,
Bias
he's-
fan at all. I do not like him at
His
all.
bat path is just increasing from going.
He's
like
just
this.
he's a strike. He's striked out like what? I think he's like top 5 in strikeouts.
Yeah, he's very arrogant. I love him for being arrogant towards people, but I also don't love him because the Mets sucked this year. So
Yeah.
his arrogance,
Well, I hated him on the Mets. You know that little scuffle they had in New York.
that turns into toxic.
That kind of made me feel pissed me off a little bit. And I mean, I don't know.
I mean, what kind of paved the way for these signings this year was last year Lindor getting all that money. I mean,
Yeah, and then-
from the Mets. I mean, and the Mets didn't do anything this year, just like the Rangers. The
Mets didn't do it. You forgot Mets signed Max Scherzer.
I'm saying the Mets last year. So
Oh, that's right. I mean, yeah, they haven't made the playoffs. You know,
Yes, but that signing.
Mets want to be the Yankees. Mets aren't the Yankees. That's just how it is.
But I mean, signing Scherzer would propel you.
I mean,
in
Scherzer
that
would
direction.
Top
That's-
pitcher in the league.
If you are making the playoff, and they signed Starling Marte.
Is Syndergaard back?
He's on the Angels. Angels signed.
But I mean, they
Syndergaard.
still have DeGrom.
Jeez.
I mean, he's the best pitcher in baseball right now.
DeGrom.
So.
They have 2 of the top 5 pitchers in baseball.
Yeah.
For being modest. They signed Starling Marte, who had 40. I think led the league in bags last year. Still like 40.
Yeah, so they'll for sure get better.
100 plus last year.
They should get better. They
Yeah.
should. They honestly, I mean, they should come second in that division, if not win it. They should be right there with Atlanta. And if they aren't, then that's a failure.
Yeah.
Agreed.